When you think of this and this, you usually think of some kind of big concert or sports game, but believe it or not, they are playing League of Legends and Dota 2, the two biggest esports games today. Thousands of people went to go see this, an esports tournament, and that word, esports. Video games can't be sports, right? All you do is press buttons. They can't be difficult at all. Well, let's start off with what is a sport. Merriam-Webster defines sport as a contest or a game in which people do certain physical activities according to a specific set of rules and compete against each other, which is a very generalized definition of the word sport, and in my opinion should be revised, due to the fact by that definition, things like NASCAR would not be sports, but SportAccord, the union for both Olympic and non-Olympic sports, I think has a better definition, and says, a sport must have an element of competition, be harmful to no living creature, not rely on equipment from one supplier, excluding proprietary games like arena football, and not rely on any luck element designed to the sport. By this definition, esports, not video games, and the reason I'll emphasize that, I'll cover later in this video, is considered a sport, and that's coming from possibly the biggest sports union out there. And if things like the World Chess Federation and the World Bridge Federation are considered in this union of sports, why not accept esports? Esports does not break any of these rules, esports has an obvious competition factor, it doesn't harm anyone, and it's not based on any luck factor. And almost every single component is supplied from a different supplier, from the computers they play on, to the games they are playing. Wait, I think I figured it out. Is it because esports has no ball? I mean, look at other sports. Run and dribble the ball, run and throw the ball, run and kick the ball, roll the ball, hit the ball with a metal stick, hit the ball with a wooden stick, run and throw the ball again. You get the point. Now let's talk about money. Like, lots of money. Thanks to this lovely site, I have all noticeable esport tournament earnings from 1999 to the present. And in just this year alone, the top 5 players have won $100,000 2 months into the season just from tournaments. But this is nothing in comparison to most professional athletes. LeBron James has made just a few million from salary and winnings. But the real reason I wanted to pull this up is to show how much esports has grown, especially in the money region. In 1998, the total of all tournament prizes was around $111,000. Then in 2015, that total skyrocketed over $65 million, and the top paid players got paid over $1.5 million just from tournaments alone, and that's not factoring in Twitch subscribers, sponsorships, and the salary their team they're playing on pays them. So this proves that esports has grown around 585 times since the first tournaments. These guys are making bank, and what are they doing again? Playing video games. But I digress. As I said before, esports, not video games. The reason I say this is because things like Candy Crush and Cookie Clicker, games you play to waste time and usually are unintuitive, are video games. While esports usually means competitive play in tournaments and organized play of certain video games. So I'm not saying all video games should be considered sports. Really none of them should unless they're under the right circumstances. With that out of the way, how much skill is involved to be a pro esports player? Well, it varies depending on the video game and how much natural talent you have, like any other sport. Take me, for example. I play a lot of video games, but I'm probably never going to reach the point where I'm good enough to go pro. I just don't have that natural ability. Unless I play for thousands of hours and practice constantly, I'm going nowhere. Just like if I don't have any natural ability in basketball, I'm never going to be good unless I practice constantly. And if I went pro in, let's say, Heroes of the Storm, I would probably never be able to switch to a different game. Like, say, if you're good at stock car racing, you're not going to try to go pro in football. You're already really good at stock car racing, why randomly change to football? One of the best things about esports, too, is that you can start your own team anytime you want. Just find a tournament near you, get a couple of friends, and play together. If you're good, you can win up to millions of dollars. If you're not, well, maybe try a different game? Or you and your friends can practice a bunch for next year, when the tournament comes around again. That's the beauty of esports. Anyone can get into it, and some kids as young as 15 are winning over $1 million in just tournaments. I guess to sum this up, not all video games should be considered in the category of esports, but a select few. Esports falls into the rules that Sport Accord has put into place, and these gamers are already being treated like professional athletes. Well, money and sponsorship-wise. In all reality, esports is going to happen, if you like it or not. In fact, ESPN has a spot on their website dedicated to esports, and ESPN2 has already broadcasted Heroes of the Dorm, a Heroes of the Storm tournament where the winners get free college tuition. Live. So we can either choose to keep passing it off as not a sport, or we can finally recognize it as a sport. The only difference is how long it takes for you to recognize esports as a sport.